Well, today is the deadline for project number 2 to be completed, and unfortunately, I had an incident with my print. The left-hand side of my project, very nice. The right-hand side got that much, and for some reason the filament snapped. And then it kept going, but it didn't actually print. So basically, my Etch-a-Sketch holder, like that, kind of failed. So I managed to figure out dimensions and all that, and I moved it down and tried to reprint it, and it is working. There are a couple fail points, but nothing we can't get around. As far as the Arduino is concerned, I have been able to control the Arduino. Yesterday I was controlling the X and Y just fine, and I was supplying on its own power. For some reason, it didn't seem to want to do it. So I had to troubleshoot why that is. And when I plugged it in off the computer, I can control my X and Y axis with my joystick, which is what I wanted as my primary. So, basically, to understand where I'm at, the part that holds the joystick is there. These points. And part that holds the steppers. Right here. These grooves are designed for rubber O-rings. Sorry that the video is really not clear. I must have something on my lens. I designed it with hinges so that I could put a cover over here. And I wanted to design that cover so that I could maybe put an idler wheel and clamp down to actually put tension onto the Etch-a-Sketch like this against the wheel. Can you, Josiah, very carefully hold this? Can you hold the camera, please? You're supposed to be pointing at here. This is designed to fit together like that with the rubber, and potentially a cover on here that has an idler that pulls this down with tension so that when this turns, it turns the main wheel. In fact, I should be able to demonstrate the concept. I can find the joystick. Only I don't have the rubber seals on there right now. So, yeah, it's not that complicated.
Can I please have this? I want this.
You can see the printed part that I'm printing right now. That's the right hand side. You can see where I've got mounting set up for the Arduino board, etc. Pass-throughs for wiring. Pretty simple, straightforward. SOLIDWORKS is 19, still opening on my computer. I actually use SOLIDWORKS with work, so I'm fairly adept at the program, and this particular version is actually something that I pay $40 a year for by having a membership with EAA, and I was just spend $40 a year and I get SolidWorks. So that's something that you might be interested in. See, valid until March 31st, 2022. I signed my whole family up, so spend an extra $5 and we're all in there. And that's really cool. And just because I'm also a Mac member, because I like to fly model airplanes, mostly like to crash them. Right? Anyway, I guess SolidWorks is actually open. I'm sitting here waiting for it to open. It's actually open. So automatic Etch-a-Sketch. Here is the automatic Etch-a-Sketch. And you can see principles there. Somebody had suggested that I make mounting for the boards and stuff at the back. That was the plan in the beginning. I had designed a removable cover. I haven't printed that cover. It's not highly important to me. But you can see with my standoffs and pass-throughs, etc., that I can put a motor driver here, a motor driver here, and the main Arduino board here with its PowerPoint and printer cable. The seam is where the two join together, and I've got an overlap, so it's going to fit tightly. I did try to set it up where I could sort of put a screw and nut and that kind of stuff together in a few places, but then I realized that I calibrated my scale wrong, so that's not going to happen. I might put dowel pins in there, but at this point it is just going to be super glued together, especially considering that whole bottom plate is now separate. You can see the drive wheel with the rubber seals on it pressed up and interfering with the knob on the Etch-a-Sketch. I drew the Etch-a-Sketch first, and then I drew the motors, servo stepper motors, made the caps, and then kind of went around it. So my first attempt at a cap was right here, and I just made my tolerances too tight to heat it up to get it up on the servo, and that's why it's all melty looking. After that, I just adjusted my sizes, and it just press fits right on the end of the servo. It's not flawless. I mean, I would like to print another set that fits that a little better, maybe runs a set screw. I kind of was thinking ahead on the holder for set screw, but didn't end up doing it. So fortunately, timing hasn't been my friend. There's just been things. It was at my good friend's 50th birthday, and it's just a lot of things that come up. So when you're doing this with a full-time job and 4 kids and wife who works too and all sorts of stuff, it's hard to get these deadlines that Mr. Rober has put together for us. But hey, it is. It's a 1-month course. Probably people wouldn't do it if it was too long. So anyway, we'll put a marker on here. Now, in code, I can calibrate the speed of that, but I like the precision. You know, having played with the Etch-a-Sketch, that's a great precision, and be able to run both at the same time, depending upon combination of X and Y. To me, that's great. In the future, I'd like to make it so that I can upload G-code pictures into it, and then be able to run that. So kind of like what Mark did with the dots, the stippling, I'd like to do with the Etch-a-Sketch. And also I would love to do fractal images. That's actually what I really would like to see with this machine, is to see it create fractals, and you know, until of course it's got too much on the screen, then I wouldn't want to go too far with it. But I think it would be really neat to see what we could do with that. So just kind of random images or something like that, or scenes or something like that. Anyway, that whole notion excites me, but I haven't figured out how to set that up yet. It's been so many years since I programmed in C++. The last time I did it was actually for an Arduino, and it was a special throttle control system that we had to do for a special project for prisoners. And I had to program controller system for that. But other than that, it's kind of like I have these decades that happen in between. So here I am, trying to remember my if-then statements and all that sort of things. It all comes back when you start doing it. There's my Ender 3 with Bullseye on there, BL Touch, and it's going, it's running on Marlin, Marlin 2.0, 2 something, and yeah, in case anybody's interested, there's a Capricorn 2, I've got metal extruder, it's not a dual extruder, I thought it was in the order, it wasn't. That's what I made, a little tray on the top, it's a bunch of dead things that I made. There's another printer I gotta work on. It's going Duet in Marlin. Anyway, you don't know what I'm talking about. That's okay. Anyway, I will try and have this together tomorrow because obviously that print, which is been running for 5 hours 31 minutes, it's just over halfway, is it's not done. So we're going to be waiting a little while before it is done. Sorry guys, hate to not have my stuff done on time. It's been a tough week to actually accomplish things. So there it is, that's what I have to say about that. And check in tomorrow and I should have my update there. And I am excited to see what we do with the Raspberry Pi next. Which reminds me I was supposed to pick one up today and I forgot. Okay, anyway, Builder Boys out.